An audiobook review of Dream On, Ramona Riley by Ashley Herring Blake. So I read this as a solely audiobook read through the Penguin Random House Audiobook Influencer Club. So thank you so much for that audiobook, ALC. I did get a copy, obviously, of the physical book from Berkeley. So thank you, Berkeley Romance, for the physical copy. This is a finished copy. So yeah, this is a finished copy of the book, and I'm really excited to be able to put this on my shelf. The cover is stunning. So let's talk a little bit about the audiobook. The stats should be on the screen. I enjoyed the audiobook quite a bit. I really enjoyed the way the audiobook narrator differentiated the voices, and for some reason I really enjoyed Dylan's voice in particular. Dylan's voice did something to me on the inside. I really enjoyed that husky, lower toned voice. Oh, it was magical. But yeah, I really enjoyed the audiobook. I felt like it was really well done. It was easy to understand, very concise and clear. I didn't have to adjust speed between different POVs or anything like that. It worked out really well for me. So let's talk a little bit about what I liked about the book in general. This book is an absolute haven of queer representation. There is pansexual representation, there's bisexual representation, there's demisexual representation, there is non-binary representation. There is just a plethora of representation that I thought was really well done throughout this novel. I enjoyed reading about all the different types of queer love in this novel. This is a romance between a pansexual and a bisexual, and it's not a lesbian romance. I really enjoyed the way they differentiated that within this novel. I felt it was very interesting. There is representation for toxic parents. There is representation for finding yourself, like the theme of finding yourself and self-discovery. I liked that quite a bit as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed all the different types of representation that were woven throughout this story. This is a celebrity small town waitress romance, and I felt like the small town feel was definitely there. Dylan, our celebrity, also definitely had those things that made her difficult to get to know, because with the life of a celebrity, there's always some mystery shrouded with that because you can't be completely open in yourself. I liked that about it. It definitely did give off that small town feel. I liked the plus size representation that we felt within Ramona. It felt realistic, and I really liked the descriptions of how she dressed and was still her own person, and I just really enjoyed hearing positivity surrounding a plus sized body and really cute, fun, and outlandish dressing, because I feel like when I dress, I try to make myself smaller. That's something I am currently internally working on, but I really enjoyed the way that Ramona embraced her body and loved it, and that gave me such a push to try and do some of that myself. While I did overall enjoy this novel, there were some things in the novel that gave me a little bit of an icky feel, and that was the miscommunication trope. I felt like it was used in a very poor way. It's basically both characters had a miscommunication, as is with the miscommunication trope, but Dylan in particular acknowledges flat out that Ramona would not be okay consenting to anything that's happening if she knew the miscommunication or the outright lie that Dylan was not telling her. And that bothered me, to know that Dylan is fully aware that Ramona wouldn't even entertain. Sometimes in the miscommunication trope, I find the person doing the miscommunication or omitting information in order to spare feelings or whatever, they're not 100% sure how the other character would react. But Dylan flat out says Ramona would not be okay with any of this if I told her the truth. That makes me think that she knows Ramona would withdraw consent to the relationship, and therefore it gave me a little bit of an icky feeling over that whole portion. Being fully aware that the person that you're in a relationship with would not be consenting if you told them the truth, no, I didn't like that very much. This book was a little heavier on the spice, in my opinion, and I really enjoyed it. I felt like it was written really well. It was very interesting. I would have enjoyed it more had I not had the miscommunication trope kind of overshadowing their sexual interactions for me. I do feel like, for those who are interested, the miscommunication trope is resolved and done in a way that makes me feel better about the way it was handled. I felt like it gave Ramona a real chance to make her own decisions in the way that it was done, but it didn't alleviate everything for me. I still feel a little icky when I think about the fact that basically Ramona was consenting to things that she didn't have all the information on. Overall, I did enjoy the story. I will read more by this author because I felt like a lot of the things that were done well were done really, really well. And maybe this just was an instance where I was the one with the problem, and maybe other books would work a little bit better for me with that kind of trope. But overall, this was interesting, and I really am glad that I read it and I enjoyed it.